Hello everyone, this is Mumbo and welcome back to another episode on the Hermitcraft server. It is episode 76 and today we are starting things off on top of this tree right here, next to the industrial district, next to the drone, and next to the giant toilet that we built in the previous episode of Hermitcraft. I have to say, I'm very glad that this exists. Okay, I seriously am very glad that this exists because I love building your ideas. Simply because your ideas are often completely ridiculous. And the two ideas that I built in the previous episode of Hermitcraft definitely didn't disappoint. Over there we've got ourselves a tooth that is being drilled because of course I have still got my little root canal problem that's going on. And then of course there we have the toilet, which is meant to be flown into from the drone. That's basically the idea behind that thing. And I think it's fantastic. I mean seriously, I'm very happy with how I've managed to build these things. And I can't wait to get a few smaller builds in and around this area just to sort of spice up the place a little bit, because at the minute it looks a little bit strange with these two massive things right there. It'll be cool to get some bits and pieces dotted around the bottom. But anyway, in today's episode we are not going to be talking about these for much longer. What I quickly want to mention is the fact that you may notice my videos are now coming out just a tiny bit earlier in the day. I'm going to be uploading these videos 3 hours earlier than I normally do. I usually upload them at 9 PM at night my time, which for a lot of you is actually a little bit late. I mean, it's a tiny bit late, you know, it's a little bit past your bedtime. For those of you in the UK, obviously if that's after your bedtime, then generally speaking you don't get the chance to watch them in the morning, and then by the time school has finished the next day, new awesome videos have come out and you've totally missed mine. So I've decided to change up my upload time a little bit, so it's now much earlier, so hopefully more of you will be able to get a chance at catching that Hermitcraft action. But anyway, in today's episode of Hermitcraft, we are going to be working in the Batcave. The Batcave is something that I've sort of neglected a little bit recently, haven't been doing too much stuff over there, and I have got a bunch of really awesome plans, if not a little bit complicated. So there are two things on my to-do list for today. The first one is to build a Batmobile, which I'm sure is going to make a lot of you rather excited. I really want to try and get some redstone into this thing, but I don't honestly know if I'm going to be able to do it, and the Batmobile is going to be going on this platform right here. And then the other thing, which is going to be super complicated, is I want to build a sort of computer screen. Now it's not going to be a functional computer before all of you start going, oh my god! No, it's not going to be one of those. It's going to be a semi-working screen where we can choose what is on the screen and we can hit some buttons and things and different things come up. Basically, it's going to look really cool, not going to have too much of a use, but who cares? I mean, this is a Batcave. Is there really any use for this Batcave right here? Absolutely not. It's just here to look cool, and we're about to make it look 10 times cooler in today's episode. So the first thing that I've got to do is I've got to work out a design for the Batmobile, because that's what we're going to start things off with, and hopefully I can come up with something that looks pretty good. Just the final finishing touches now for our Batmobile. We need to get one more item frame, and I apologise for the horrendous ticking noise that goes on in this area. It's driving me completely insane, so I might have to look into how I can actually fix that up. We need that item frame and this block of redstone right here, and that will actually do everything. And I have to say, even though it's a 3 minutes and 41 second tutorial and it took a lot longer than 3 minutes and 41 seconds, I'm really chuffed at how we've managed to build this thing and how cool it looks for how simple of a build it is. Look at this thing! It looks nuts, doesn't it? All we have to do now is chuck this in and then the redstone block out the back, and I'm guessing that's like the afterburner. So we chuck that in there. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's sort of... it's a little bit basic, but it looks really cool, doesn't it? So you've got all of the wheels on the outside there, and then there is all of the craziness that is the Batmobile itself. I mean, the level of detail is pretty nice. On the bottom, it's not so, you know, it's not so detailed. It could do with maybe some crazy bits and pieces going on under there, but this thing's awesome. I'm really chuffed with this. And it's 10 million times better than anything I would have ever built, ever. And guys, I have just thought of a way in which I can get into this thing using redstone. Oh, this is going to look good. This is going to look good. It is going to be left-hand drive. Or I can make it right-hand drive, depending on what you prefer. I think I'm going to make it right-hand drive, actually, because, you know, United Kingdom and all that. Let's grab ourselves some redstone and start throwing it inside the Batmobile. I've always wanted to say that. So here goes. Are you ready for this, guys? Flick the lever, and there we go. We are in the Batmobile. I mean, as you can see, visibility is pretty poor. That's literally all we've got, and I accidentally made it left-hand drive, despite what I said earlier on. but it does actually work. Now, in terms of getting out, I think it's going to be something like that. Did you see how smooth that was? That was like Batman did it. So I have to say, despite the fact that that is a little bit of a crude entrance into the Batmobile, it's still cool, okay? I'm so glad we've managed to make that work, and I'm really glad that I can get out of this thing really easily as well. This thing is awesome. Seriously, I don't know if this is the child in me, okay? But this is one of my favourite builds I've done on Hermitcraft for a little while now, just because, I don't know, I've always wanted to do this sort of thing. And I think over the next couple episodes, I'm going to come up with ideas for redstone contraptions to add to this thing. Yeah, I'm talking flamethrowers. I'm talking afterburners and flamethrowers. We'll see what I can do. But for now, I think it's time to move on from this project right here and start work on the big project of today's episode, which is going to be our semi-functional computer system, which I'm very, very scared to build. I mean, seriously, I'm petrified. So, some things have happened since the previous clip. I've been doing some planning and I've been doing some working out, and this is what we have so far. So, I've cleared out a little area. We have got the screen space, which is looking very big indeed. We also have a skeleton in the Batcave. We've actually got an infiltrator in the Batcave. Let's just quickly wipe him out. Oh, yeah, we sorted him out. Yeah, there is the screen itself. That's how big this thing is going to be. And the screen is going to be made out of redstone lamps. That's the way that we're going to be doing that. And we're going to be powering those redstone lamps individually using a piston feed tape with blocks and redstone blocks on the inside of it, which is going to be a bit of a challenge, which is why there are blocks on all of these pistons, and we're going to be working that out a little bit later on. But for now, I've got to chuck in all of the sticky pistons going around the outside. I've got to clear out all of these blocks, and I've got to make sure that all of this redstone circuitry is actually going to work, which I'm not 100% certain on yet, so this could get interesting. Everything is coming along nicely, apart from the fact that we are now on the outside of the mountain by quite a long way. I mean, we have got 1, 2, 3 so far, and we are going to be placing in another 5. So, like this, and then like this. That is the total height of the display, which it's not awful. It's going to be difficult to terraform that, especially with the redstone that's going to be running around it. That's my only concern, is that all of this has to be powered via redstone. I have no idea where that redstone is going to be going. So maybe some serious terraforming is going to have to be done, because, well, that's like a completely new area of the mountain right there. Oh, I'm going to make a mess of that, aren't I? At the minute, I just feel like I'm making such a mess. And I really feel like I should have planned this out slightly better before I started. Oh boy. After floundering around for around about an hour, not having the most focused Minecraft session, but also not having the most successful Minecraft session, this is what we have right here. We've got 4 pillars of pistons, then we've got the redstone connecting up, and now what we're about to do is we're about to test this thing for the first time. And I have to say, I'm a little bit nervous. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to chuck in all of the blocks that are going to make up the blocks in the piston feed tape. And we are literally going to be testing the bottom layer right here. Because the thing that makes this different from other piston feed tapes is the fact that all of our pistons have blocks on the faces of them. Because our piston feed tape is going to have redstone blocks in it. And you can't have those touching the pistons, because then of course they will power. And that basically will not work. So let's grab ourselves a button and see if all of these blocks cycle round okay. I'm going to chuck in a block of glass on the inside of this thing so we can see if it moves. And here it goes. That sounded very successful. That sounded clean. Awesome. Well, that worked, didn't it? Alright, so that seems to be functional. Let's just hit the button again. Good stuff. It seems to be quite a fast system. Now this has to be able to function on a hopper clock. So this has got to be a really quick redstone clock. But I feel like it just about makes the cut. Yeah, I think we should be okay. I hope. Now don't ask me how this has happened so fast. You know, earlier on I said that this thing was going to be quite complicated. Well, for the most part, it's actually all done. I've done a lot of the redstone. We're just in the process of doing some of the final bits and pieces. This redstone is going to run up into that piston. That's it. Is that it? I mean, seriously, is that it? If I were to hit that button over there right now, would this function? I mean, all of the blocks are in the right place, so I guess the only thing we have to do is hit the button. All of the pistons moved, didn't they? The gaps are still in the correct locations. The blocks cycled round. There's not an issue. There's not an issue. We've almost finished the Batcave computer, and we're only like 10 minutes into the episode. That's brilliant, and also slightly concerning. Oh no. Oh no, I've just decided to count it. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He thought, perfect. That's good. It's not good. These need to be 1 block further in this direction. Which means that we have got a bunch of destroying and a bunch of rebuilding to do. Which is a pain in the backside. It was all going so well. It was all going so well. Definitely +1 for the spoon counter. Remember that for later in the episode. Everything's been broken down. Everything has been rebuilt. This thing is now the correct size finally, which is a pretty good feeling. And also I've added in the 8 tick generator that I featured in my face customizer machine. That if you haven't seen that video, I would highly suggest checking it out. It is one of the most hilarious redstone contraptions I think I've ever created, and I absolutely love the thing. Now, in theory, this is all fully functional, so I'm going to nervously place an item inside the hopper, which by the look of things I've already done accidentally, must have just dropped one in there, and just make sure that everything is hooked up. That then goes into here, and that should power our piston feed tape 8 times. Okay, I guess all there is to do now is press this little wooden button and watch as this glass travels from this point, hopefully, over to this point right here. That's the plan. Okay, so if the glass is on this block, by the end of the cycle, we have done a brilliant, brilliant job. Here goes. It's looking good. It's looking good. Oh! It worked! It actually worked first time! No way! I don't believe it! Look at this mess of a redstone circuit. I mean, this is horrible. It's so all over the place. And it's just fully functional. It just worked. Straight off the bat. No issues. No problems. All good. That does not happen very often in these mumbo jumbo Hermitcraft episodes, does it? I just popped off the Hermitcraft server to try and work out what sort of designs you want to pop up on our screens, and I've come up with 4 of them, which is all we need. We have got the mumbo jumbo face, we have got the Batman logo, kind of. I mean, if you really squint, it looks like the Batman logo. And then we have got a spoon, which once again, squinting is definitely involved. And then we have got MJ. I think all of these are really quite good, and obviously you'll be able to choose which one you want on the display using that button. So now what we have to do is pop back onto the Hermitcraft server. We've got a lot, and I mean a lot, of glowstone to gather up, and then we can start chucking these things in. Thankfully, Python GB has actually delivered, and he has got all of these. Now I've just put all of those diamonds in. I've put 6 diamonds in, and that will give us access to 70 of these. Will it? 72 of these. Okay, so that is that, the full stack, and actually we don't need any more than the full stack, but I'm going to take that anyway. So there we go. We have got ourselves 72 redstone lamps to go into our display. I've seen a few people asking me why I have this ugly staircase going through the center of my base. Finally, I have some redstone torches in my inventory, and I can close it up. That's the only slight issue with torch keys. If you don't have any torches, then you just sort of leave it open. I'll be honest, building this piston feed tape is a tiny bit more confusing than I was expecting, because what I'm doing is I'm building all of the different modules all at once, which may be a difficult way of doing things, but this one here is going to be the Batman logo. Obviously that there is the Mumbo logo, then there is going to be the MJ, and the back is going to be the spoon. And I sincerely hope that I'm doing everything in the right direction and everything is going okay. So that is the 3rd redstone block in the handle, which is good. And when we look at this, it should be traveling up to the left with the spoon. Yeah, so that'll be fine. So obviously when it comes around, it will get rotated, and it should end up looking good, and I have no idea where that just came from. But by the look of things, we don't have to worry anymore. So I'm going to keep building this thing. Hopefully it all comes together nicely, and hopefully we don't make any horrendous mistakes. Whoa, I was AFK. I went AFK to look at the screen. I went down to half a heart because of that. No, that skeleton. Skeletons in Minecraft, man. They absolutely... Oh, they cause me so much rage. I actually think I hate them more than I hate creepers, and that is a strong statement in my mind. This should just about do it. I think we're around about done with the ProleteR. That is going to be the official name for this thing, the ProleteR. And I think, by the look of things, yeah, we have got all of the blocks in place. Everything should be looking good. So we're going to pop inside the Batcave now. And I'm about to have a very scary moment, okay? Because what you have to remember is that if this goes wrong, simple as this, if this goes wrong, then obviously our piston feed tape will then get out of sync. And that means that I have to take down my entire piston feed tape that I've just spent ages building and rebuild it, and also work out what the issue is, and probably rebuild the redstone, because A, there's an issue, and B, the piston feed tape will probably break the redstone. So, no pressure then. Let's do this. Right, we're going to hit the button. The blocks are shifting. That looks brilliant, by the way. That looks fantastic. That worked! That worked! There we go! We've changed it to say MJ! Alright, okay, good start. Okay, that's a good start. Let's hit the button again. And let's see if we can get ourselves a spoon. That should move across on the screen now. I love it! Alright, my spoon. I must have missed something on the spoon. What is that? That does not look like a spoon. Alright, so by the look of things, I have missed one or two of the blocks for my spoon. We'll fix that later on, but we're going to shift over to the final little slide here of our little Batcave slideshow. Let's see if this is all looking good. Yes, it is. Okay, so there we go. We've got the Batcave logo as well. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I'll fix up the spoon, then that will be everything completed with this mechanism, which makes me a very happy Mumbo indeed. Very, very happy. Right, so now that is done, it's time to sort out this mess right here. This horrendous thing that I've got popping out the side of my mountain. Only slight problem is I am suffering from the worst lag on the Hermitcraft server right now. I mean, it's absolutely awful. You can see these blocks aren't actually dropping any items. Don't know what that's all about. They're probably going to sort of reappear and then do something strange in the near future. But I honestly don't know if I'm actually placing blocks. I don't know if these are being registered by the server at all. I just tried to sleep and then it teleported me back up to the drone, which seemed like a very odd decision from the server. So I feel like this is my end, by the way. Oh, cool. As I was saying, yeah, pretty bad connection. Bit of a progress update for you. It is not going well. Oh, it is not going well. This is a challenge. This is a real challenge, this one. This may be too much for me. You know what I'm like? I can't terraform for the life of me. And no matter what I do... I mean, look, we still have another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks to go up from this point forth. 5 blocks! It's not going to happen, is it? Let's be real. It's not going to happen. You know, a couple seconds ago I said it wasn't going to happen. Well, you never guess what? Mr. Mumbo Jumbo might have just made it happen. Okay, it looks stupid at this point in time. It does look stupid at this point in time. And we have still got a lot of terraforming to do in this area over here. Right, but I am going to take a look at this thing from a distance right now. And we're going to see if it looks stupid. Okay, it doesn't have to look 100% natural, but it just can't look stupid. It doesn't look stupid. It doesn't look natural, but it doesn't look stupid. There's definitely something under there. Like, there's no denying the fact that there is a bulge in that mountain there. So clearly, there's been some funny business going on. But when there's grass on that, I actually think we might pull it off. As I fill in the final blocks of this wall right here, I suddenly thought to myself, sometimes I think that my terrible terraforming in this area here is actually helping my case, because if this was in like a completely normal environment, right, then this would probably look awful, okay? This would look really just odd and horrible and disgusting. But because you're so used to seeing just horrendous terraforming left, right, and center, like there's some horrendous stuff going on down here. Now we've got this massive thing, that mess right there. Now that you're used to seeing that, this doesn't look so bad. So now that I've filled in all the blocks, we can sort of chuck in a few extra ones up here just to bring out this hillside a little bit more. But other than that, I think we're pretty much good to go. And we can look at this thing from a distance and see how it looks. It doesn't look horrendous, basically. It doesn't look really out of place and disgusting, which is absolutely fantastic news in my opinion. And I'm so chuffed that we managed to make that work. So now it's time to pop inside. I'm quickly going to clean up the Batcave, and then we will be finished with today's episode. So all of the ugly holes and things should now be filled. The mechanism has been covered up. And this is what the Batcave computer now looks like. I'm so chuffed with the progress we've managed to make in today's episode. We've got this beautiful thing right here. And this beautiful thing right here. I completely forgot that we did this in today's episode. It seems like so long ago, but that all happened within like the first 4 or 5 minutes, which was pretty good going. Anyway, if we pop inside, nothing should be able to spawn in there. Actually, yes. Yeah, they totally will be able to spawn in there. Oh, it doesn't matter. It can be like our little mob cage thing, I guess. But if we hit this button, it should all work. I've just thought I didn't check if I placed any blocks in the mechanism. Oh. I cannot tell you how much my heart dropped, especially when I thought it went wrong, but this thing is fully functional, and I'm going to leave the Mumbo face on the screen simply because it's the most attractive. I mean, look at that thing. It's a thing of beauty. It really is a work of art, and I just like having it around. But unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, that is all I've got time for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please sure to hit that like button, and if you really loved it, then make sure to subscribe. But thanks for watching, guys. This has been Mumbo, and I'm out. I'll see you later.